And Saudi Arabia just became a full participant in Project Embridge. Let me say that one more time. Saudi Arabia, the largest producer of oil in the world, just became a full participant in Project Embridge, which is not compatible with US dollars that the BIS is behind. Now, you're seeing all of these countries not only accumulate tons of gold, bring it home. So it's twofold. It's the meddling and the suppression and the confiscation of assets, and it's the unit token. And if it is indeed ratified, to which the head of the BRICS and Development Bank said, yeah, in principle, we've agreed to it, it's a big deal. Maybe the biggest deal ever, right up next to gold being Tier 1 revised.
The BRICS nations are rapidly advancing toward creating a groundbreaking global settlement currency known as the unit, which could potentially disrupt the foundation of the international financial system. Unlike the much-speculated BRICS currency, the unit is a settlement mechanism designed to streamline trade among BRICS nations. Andy Schectman, CEO of Miles Franklin, analyzes that this innovative system aims to reduce dependence on the US dollar, offering an alternative that bypasses traditional Western financial systems like SWIFT. What makes this development even more remarkable is the inclusion of Saudi Arabia, the world's largest oil producer, into Project Embridge, a cross-border payment system designed to allow nations to trade digital currencies outside the scope of Western banking institutions. Saudi Arabia's integration into Embridge underscores a broader shift away from traditional USD-denominated transactions. The platform's capability to facilitate CBDC transactions, particularly in currencies like the yuan, signals a potential challenge to the dollar's supremacy in global trade, especially in commodities such as oil. China's recent use of digital yuan for oil purchases at the Shanghai Petroleum Exchange exemplifies this trend, showcasing its commitment to internationalizing the yuan. This move, alongside Embridge's emergence, suggests a gradual but significant recalibration of global financial dynamics. If these nations successfully launch the unit in the upcoming months, the implications for the US dollar's dominance could be profound. For decades, countries stockpiled dollars and US treasuries to secure international trade, particularly in commodities like oil. However, with the potential of a gold-backed settlement currency, Andy suggests that BRICS nations and their trading partners may no longer see the need to hold vast reserves of US dollars. Instead, gold, an asset that has outperformed US treasuries over the past 25 years, could regain its status as the ultimate store of value. We will present clips from Andy Schectman's interview. But before we do, if you want more videos like this, please hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell for more updates. Thank you, and enjoy the video.
If you look at Project Embridge is a cross-border payment service and or vehicle that sidesteps the SWIFT and allows for these countries to trade their central bank digital currencies with one another outside the Western intermediary banks. No SWIFT, no sanctioning, if you will. And it was a joint effort between China, Hong Kong, Thailand, and the United Arab Emirates. We've talked about that for over a year. And you know, I've been saying for a while, I'm sure as you have, that gold and oil seem to have been remonetized across the globe, that they are worth more than the currencies that are used to buy them, certainly worth more than the dollars that are used to buy them. And it's interesting that the first two trades they did on Embridge last year was China trading with United Arab Emirates digital yuan for gold and for oil. You know, you look at oil as being remonetized. China was awarded a $2 billion contract to remodernize the largest airport in Iran, paid for with oil. It used to be paid in dollars, now it's paid in oil. And certainly when we look at gold and its role or replacing the treasury bond, it's doubled the performance of the 10-year treasury in the past 25 years and has no counterparty liability. It can't be sanctioned or stolen. And so you see a lot of countries that are using gold to replace the long bond and using oil as a form of money. Okay, all of that being said, let's go back to Project Embridge. Who's behind Project Embridge besides those four countries? Oh, lo and behold, it's the BIS. And Saudi Arabia just became a full participant in Project Embridge. Let me say that one more time. Saudi Arabia, the largest producer of oil in the world, just became a full participant in Project Embridge, which is not compatible with US dollars that the BIS is behind. Now, think of the way the BIS did things in 2017, 18, and 19. And I know they said to these banks, we're going to reclassify it tier 1, get your gold. So if you look at all of these banks that I just mentioned, nearly 40 banks that have brought all of their gold home, and if you look at the massive amount of gold purchasing over the last couple of years by the central banks, BIS is at it again, I would have to think. Because if you read the white paper on the unit token that will trade on Project Embridge, it says something very interesting, and that is that the baskets that will be used to mint these tokens, that each country will mint, will be 60% BRICS plus currencies. And by the way, I did an interview with Vince Lancy not too long ago, and he thinks, and I think it's genius, that China, Russia, maybe India, they will do all they can to back their central bank digital currency with some form of gold backing so that it comprises the majority of the currencies within the basket.
The US dollar is facing a potential collapse, driven by transformative developments in foreign exchange markets, particularly the erosion of the petrodollar system that has sustained US economic dominance for decades. Historically, when the dollar weakens against other fiat currencies, it often leads to major shifts in the global economic landscape. Andy points out that as the dollar loses value, gold prices are expected to rise sharply. Not because gold itself is becoming more valuable, but because the currency used to measure its worth is declining. Andy also criticizes the US government's portrayal of inflation, arguing that the real rate is much higher than officially reported. This inflation is seen as a deliberate strategy to manage the national debt, a tactic preferred by politicians over austerity measures. His concerns extend beyond economics, delving into broader societal issues such as the breakdown of traditional values, increasing lawlessness, and the impact of illegal immigration. He desires to return to the values and stability of the past, seeing these societal shifts as deeply interconnected with the country's current economic challenges.
When you're talking about no more petrodollar demand, which has been the synthetic demand for 5 decades, yeah, gold should go markedly higher in a currency that begins to globally lose complete and total demand and interest for holding it. So, yeah, I think there's no question the price goes higher, but that's not why you buy it. You don't buy it to get wealthy. You buy it because what's going to happen to the currency and it's massive devaluation. You know, we're told that we're supposed to think that a 2% inflation rate is good. How about a negative 2%? Because the lower the inflation rate, the better the standard of living, the higher the standard of living. And if you believe that we really have 3% inflation here, I got some oceanfront real estate to sell you in Minneapolis. I mean, inflation is way higher than 3%. I wish it was only 3%. And of course, John Williams of Shadow Stats will tell you that inflation is probably 9, 10, 11% in reality. But the Fed and you know, the U.S. government has every interest to lie about those numbers to maintain an inflationary. Politicians have chosen inflation over austerity. Much easier to pay off a debt. And it's funny, you know, I think the reason I want President Trump to be president again is not because I think he can fix all of this stuff. Maybe he can. Maybe he can. I mean, Vance is talking the same way about the World Reserve status as Jared Knucklehead Bernstein is, that maybe it's not a good thing. And they keep talking about devaluing the dollar. Why I want Trump to be president is because I'm sick and tired of the lawlessness and the craziness in this country. We've let 20 million people in illegally. If 5% don't like us, that's 1 million people. That's a standing army. It's real. And just how upside down everything is in this country and all of these things that are so important, that is coiled into this whole economic thing too. To talk one without the other is a mistake, because if this country was what it once was when I was a kid, where you respected authority, you held a door for a woman, yes sir, yes ma'am, you know, the nuclear family, where you were valued by your merit, not by your lifestyle, where the elections were never questioned, where the immigration system was something embraced, and it was a really good, amazing thing. If you came into this country, you got through the immigration process, you got your citizenship, you contribute, you assimilate. All of this stuff is upside down, and you look what's happened to our great cities, and the people around the world are saying, what the hell's happened to that country? It's all part of the same thing. So I don't know that either administration. I don't think Trump can fix what we've already destroyed. I think this administration has done more to inflict damage over the last 4 years than any external foe could have done just by their stupidity. And I mean, I think we need a change for sure. But for me, it's not about economics. I don't know we can fix this. We've gone too far down the rabbit hole. You know, you say $1 trillion every 100 days. That's 31,688 years ago is 1 trillion seconds. That's $100,000 every second. 1, 2, 3, keep on going. And that's how much debt we're burying our children with. And so I don't know that we can get back from that, but God willing, we can at least get some sanity in this country and feel safe again, walking the streets of downtown Minneapolis, downtown Miami, which is better than most, downtown San Francisco, downtown New York City. I mean, really? That's a bigger deal to me, but it is all part of the same problem. And that's why I feel, and I've said for a long time, Andrew, and I don't know how you feel about this, but I feel it's almost too stupid to be stupid. Yeah. It's almost too stupid to not have been planned.
The rise of the petro-yuan and platforms like Embridge may gradually weaken the US dollar's dominance, especially as more nations adopt CBDCs. This shift towards a multipolar currency system could reshape global trade and reduce reliance on the dollar. As the dollar's role diminishes, gold prices will likely surge, driven by increased demand as a safe haven against currency volatility. Share your thoughts on Andy's prediction in the comment section below. Also, ensure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on post notifications for more videos like this. Until next time.